Here are 5 things that are not technically illegal, but feel like they are. Number 1, wearing scrubs if you're not a medical professional. They're just sweats with extra pockets and they feel like they're exclusively for smart people, but they don't check. You can just buy them. It feels like stolen valor, but you'll get over it. There's also no law against buying a lab coat and wearing it when you're cooking instead of an apron and having people call you Dr. Tasty. But there should be. Number 2, going to the dog park without a dog. You can just walk in. There's almost never a dog bouncer, though if there was, I would hope it would be an English bulldog. And number 3, similarly, just because they call something a dog toy doesn't mean you can give it to a cat or a turtle or a human child. You can also put your kid in a dog bed. No one will arrest you. Number 4, joining AARP when you're young. You'd think you'd have to be retired or at least old, but they really don't care. You can just be like 25 and sign up because you want to save a couple bucks at Disneyland. But remember, it's not exactly free. They will send you so much junk mail every day until the day you die, and some of that junk mail will be about planning for the day you die. And number 5, eating food at the wrong time of day. We have a lot of time-based food hangups, but there's really nobody checking. You can have mashed potatoes at midnight, or soup for breakfast, or pancakes at 4 p.m.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good, but nobody's stopping me.
Here are 3 things that seem like they've been around forever, but are actually surprisingly recent. This segment is called 3 Things. It's always been called that. It's never been called anything else. Number 1, the pirate accent was not invented in the 1700s. It was invented in the 1950s by a guy named Rob.
All right, then. If I'm captain, then this is orders.
I did a deep dive into him in my newsletter a couple weeks back, but the short version is that he was playing Long John Silver in the Disney version of Treasure Island, and his pirate voice was so over-the-top wacky that it became the pirate voice. At one point, he responds to a eulogy by saying,
Our men.
Number 2, clover-free lawns. Until the 1950s, grass seed usually came with clover seed because clover is soft, beautiful, hardy, and scientifically proven to include luck. But during the war, written but almost never pronounced "wee," Dow Chemical invented a bunch of poisons for plants and people, and when the war ended, they needed a place to sell them. One of them killed clover but not grass, so they just had a marketing campaign called "You're wrong, clover is bad actually, please use our poison." And it worked, because one of the things stronger than luck is money. And number 3, pizza. I would have assumed that it existed forever because why would people live in a world without pizza? But it didn't exist in its modern form until the 1950s. In the early 1900s, it came to America, but in 1944, the New York Times wrote about a weird new food trend, the exotic pie called pizza, or plural, pizzae. So thank the clover gods that we were lucky enough to get pizza before the lawns changed. Amen. If you care about your brain or your computer or your skin, you need to know about this. Here are 5 things you might not know expire. Number 1, bike helmets. These silly looking hats can protect your brain pickle, but they can also degrade over time from things like sun and sweat. If it's been 5 years, it's probably time to replace it. And if you get in a crash with it, even if it looks fine, don't use it again. Get a new one. Otherwise, you're looking silly without protecting your brain pickle. Number 2, car seats. Similar story, they're made out of foam that can degrade over time, especially if you're constantly pouring half-eaten Cheerios all over them. They need to be replaced every 7 to 10 years to protect your baby pickle. Number 3, power strips. These aren't just a way to plug way too many things into one outlet, they are surge protectors. They protect your electronics from a sudden influx of 90s Mountain Dew ripoff. They don't have an expiration date in years. It actually has to do with how much power they've absorbed, and there's really no way to tell, but if your power strip is old enough to have gotten that surge joke, you should replace it. Number 4, home soda bottles. They're constantly being pressurized and depressurized, and there's only so many times they can do that before they lose their structural integrity. Most of them have handy expiration dates on the bottle, and pay close attention to that because you don't want it to become dangerous when you're making homemade surge. And number 5, sunscreen. The FDA requires sunscreen to be effective for at least 3 years in the bottle, but if it's been over that, you should get rid of it. But also, if you haven't finished a whole sunscreen in 3 years, you either need to use more or go out more often. In fact, right now, you should put on some sunscreen, go outside, go for a nice long walk, and if you could, just maybe stop at the store on your way and pick up some surge. I need to add more to keep my brain pickle going. I don't know if this was my family in particular or the time I grew up in, but there were small things that I thought cost way more than they actually do. Like if you'd asked me as a child, how much do AA batteries cost? I'd be like, oh, easily $1 million a piece. If batteries died, we'd be like, I guess we just won't know the time until we can save up for a few paychecks. And it wasn't just batteries. There were lots of things that I grew up thinking cost $1 million, like new sponges, Milano's cookies, the last few drops in a shampoo bottle, leaving the refrigerator door open for 2 seconds, appetizers, and I do still think that's crazy. Who could afford to pay for food to eat while they're waiting for their food? That is some Scrooge McDuck shit. Meanwhile, there are a bunch of things that seemed normal when I was a kid and I now realize cost $1 million, like framing a picture. I don't know why you can either buy a frame for $4 that is pre-broken or take it to somebody who will do the framing for you and it costs $10,000. Why is there no middle ground? Owning a house, so glad I don't have to worry about ever doing that. Having a kid. People just used to do that willy-nilly. And berries. It's crazy that we let kids eat berries. You should get 5 blueberries on your birthday and you have to cut them in half so they last longer, like a Dickens novel. If you're also still dealing with this generational trauma, let me suggest a few things to get over it. Buy a huge thing of batteries. They're really not that expensive. Throw away your sponge. When the shampoo is taking forever to get out, just get rid of it. And whatever you do, do not develop a taste for berries. Here are 5 more things that are not technically illegal, but feel like they are. Number 1, putting tiny cocktail umbrellas in hot drinks. Just because it's coffee doesn't mean that it doesn't want to be festive and protected from the elements. Number 2, leaving a store without buying stuff. You don't have to feel like a bad customer because of your capitalism anxiety. If you don't want anything, just say thank you and go. Number 3, buying a birthday cake to eat when it's not your birthday. You could just order a cake for yourself. And I was totally ready to be like, oh yeah, this is for my girlfriend's birthday. You don't know her. She goes to another school. She's Canadian. But they didn't even ask. And you could order them online, but I do want to caution you that the website might give instructions that the bakery will not understand. Like it might say that this is the happy birthday banner cake, and they might interpret that as happy birthday banner. Number 4, watching a Christmas movie in August. Even if it's hot out, you can still enjoy the saccharine and slightly confusing pleasures of It's a Wonderful Life, a movie about how this smart and funny woman had only one chance at love, and if he didn't show up, she would turn into an old lonely hag. And number 5, having a meeting that doesn't start at the top or the bottom of the hour. You can have meetings that start at 9:17. I'm not saying that that's better or that you should do it, just that there isn't a court in the world that would convict you if you did. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an 11:03 meeting to get to. I'm bringing coffee and cake.